homage to the gem of the Supreme Buddha. The Buddha is my refuge every day. May my homage to the gem of the Supreme Dhamma. The Dhamma is my refuge every day. May my homage to the gem of the Supreme Sangha. The Sangha is my refuge every day. May my homage to the Supreme Triple Gem. The Triple Gem is my refuge every day. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Samanta cakkavalesu atra gachantu devata. Saddhammang munirajassa sunantu saggamokkadang. Dhammassavana kālo ayang badanta. Dhammassavana kālo ayang badanta. Dhammassavana kālo ayang badanta. May all divine beings arrive here to listen to sublime Dhamma expounded by the fully enlightened one. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Honor to the Supreme Buddha, the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened one. Meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, you all are going to listen to sublime Dhamma expounded by the fully enlightened one. How can we listen to sublime Dhamma appropriately? First factor is sutta. You have to control your senses and listen to the sublime Dhamma. That means you must control your mind, control your body, control your speech, and then you have to listen to sublime Dhamma. Then data in the sense you have to memorize what you listen to. So always it is very difficult thing to listen to what you actually, it is very difficult thing to remember what you listen to. And third factor, vachasa parichita. That means what the things or the Dhamma, the doctrine you listen to should be verbally practiced. And manasanupekita, that is contemplation. Always memorize it. And final one is ditya supatividdha. You have to make your view right. Make your view right. Right view. You have to maintain right view by listening to the sublime Dhamma. So these 5 factors are very much essential in listening to the sublime Dhamma expounded by the fully enlightened one. Now today, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, I wanted to explicate to you regarding the concept of death, especially the Supreme Buddha emphasize or preach or explicated 4 factors which are discernible in the world. First one is jati, that is birth. Second one is jara, that is decay. Third one is sickness, vyadi. Fourth one is death, marana. These 4 characteristics are available always, and these are everlasting factors in the world. General mass always tend to contemplate on, or they tend to think over, or they tend to bother about material problems. Sometimes their problem is related to economic aspect, and their problems are related to income factors. Their problems are related to education problems. Their problems are related to governmental problems. Their problems are related to some kind of entertainment problems. Their problems are related to various other categories of problems. But they don't, see there is a kind of dangerous problem. These dangers in the world, these dangers are available in the world. Once the Supreme Buddha asked from King Pasenadi Kosala, "Oh King Kosala, what are you going to do if you get some news from your messengers that 4 type of mountains completely destroying the areas coming towards you very fast, huge rocks from 4 corners of the directions, then what are you going to do?" Then he said, even if I have various armies and all the facilities, all the luxuries, I have to escape and I have to do something to escape from that. Then the Supreme Buddha explicated to King Pasenadi Kosala, "O king, you have to think there are these rocks of problems, like rocks of dangers are there. That is jati and jara and vyadi and marana. These problems are there, always coming and just down in you, and they are going over your body, and how can you escape from these problems? Therefore, we have to think about these 4 kinds of problems. In my mind, always these problems occur, and they come to my mind daily. How can we overcome these problems? Now we are aging. That means we have to face the decay, problem of decay, and sickness, vyadi. Now all the world had to suffer, and even still world is suffering from the problem of coronavirus. Now not only this virus, but also various other problems, various other diseases may spread in the world. We do not know, we cannot predict what are the diseases about to come in the future. Therefore, till our life continue, we have to face the problem of this vyadi, that means sickness, and then marana. We have to die one day. Sometimes our death may occur today, sometimes tomorrow, sometimes day after tomorrow, sometimes next week, sometimes next month, sometimes next year. We don't know when, where, how our death may occur. Therefore, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, whatever means it takes to end our life, we have to accumulate merits. Unfortunately, majority of the population, even if they follow the sublime Dhamma of the Supreme Buddha, do not want to be, do not want to accumulate merits and face this dangerous problem of death. So, dying, some tend to say, death is nothing for me. Death is nothing for me. I am not afraid of death. They say, they claim. But when it comes to the reality, the real life, when they are about to die, then they actually suffer from various mental conditions. So they get to know. Then after, when they are in proximity to death, they get to know that they have done nothing to, be born in a pleasurable plane. They have done only kind of material things, just satisfying their senses, gratification only. No kind of accumulation of merits. Therefore, now you tend to think, you have to think, you must think about this problem. Therefore, even though other problems are there, we have to, these are the real problems. We have been born in the sansaric life, years and years of time. We were in the hell, we were in the animal plane, we were in the ghost plane, we were in the asura plane and all that. Very rarely we were born in the human plane, very rarely we were born in the heavenly plane, celestial abodes, very rarely. Now we have got an opportunity to be born in a human plane, and we have encountered the Buddha Sasana, that is Gautama Buddha Sasana. Now we have the capacity to learn the Dhamma. Now we know what should be done, what should not be done. Therefore, what we have to do is to engage in wholesome activities, neglect unwholesome activities, and accumulate merits, do merits, avoid demerits. Therefore, in order to be born in a pleasurable plane, we have to accumulate good merits, right? Therefore, meritorious devotees, as a Buddhist or as a human being, we must consider this is not our first birth. This is not our first birth. We have been born in millions and trillions of lifetimes, and in those lives we had these almost all the problems, economic problems, political problems, and cultural problems, and various problems we had in those days in various planes of existence. So these problems always there when we were born in a human being. Suppose we were in the Gamunu era, these problems were there, and even in Valagambahu period, problems were there, and recent fast, problems were there. Today, problems are there. Material problems I am talking about. But we don't understand the real problems like Jati, Jara, Vyadi, Maran. Therefore, we have to understand these four problems. We have to give a kind of, proper solution to these four problems. How can we give proper solution? We have to take refuge in the triple gem wholeheartedly. The first solution is taking refuge in the triple gem wholeheartedly. But even though our followers, they recite and they utter Buddhaṃ Saranam Gacchāmi, they have no unshakable confidence to the enlightenment of the Supreme Buddha. That is the grave problem today, because they run after various other misbelief systems, and there are so many people claiming various ideas. They put forward various ideas and ideologies. Our people are carried away by, fascinated by those kind of wrong views, unfortunately. Because, the problem is, the reason is, they do not know actually what is the sublime Dhamma. They have not read the discourses. Therefore, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, you have to read the discourses. What is the Dhamma of the Supreme Buddha? Till your death, sometimes you don't study the sublime Dhamma. We have to study the sublime Dhamma not to pass the examination, but to comprehend the Dhamma. Therefore, when you study the sublime Dhamma, then you understand what is the essence in sublime Dhamma. And then you can very easily differentiate wrong views from right view. Otherwise, you always run after various Buddhist monks, various people, and they in order to earn money, sometimes in order to earn fame, they put forward various ideas. Our innocent people are carried away by, fascinated by these ideas and ideologies. Therefore, I just request from you, don't get fascinated to those monks or other lay people, those who maintain various wrong ideologies. You can actually understand whether these ideas are correct or wrong by reading the Supreme Buddha's discourses, without which you cannot understand. Unfortunately, our people do not want to, till their death, until their death, the discourses. Therefore, the major problem is, decaying. When you are aged, when you, come to the old age, how can you walk? Now, I just observe situations, my own relations, my own friends. They were very strong at that time, but now they cannot walk. They walk slowly. They cannot sit up easily, conveniently. They cannot sit down conveniently. They have to sometimes hold the walls or some stick or something like that in order to walk. Now this is the situation. You see, you may be a millionaire, you may be a billionaire, you may be a very strong politician, you may be a powerful person in the society, you may be, kind of famous person, you may be an educated person, very well recognized person, but you cannot escape this decay. That is the problem. So that problem, how can we overcome that problem? So we can overcome that problem by following the sublime Dhamma. And you can now very easily defecate, urinate and all that. But there is a situation, there is a time, some tubes and all that should be used in order to even for the defecation and urinating and all that. So there is an occasion. You have to, just lie on a bed in a ward. Nobody is there around. Then what is supporting you? What supports you is the accumulated merits. Therefore, your mind should be, you have to make your mind very strong. How can you make your mind strong? By contemplating on the Dhamma expounded by the Buddha, especially meditation, the mindfulness. You have to follow mindfulness. You have to maintain. You have to especially be mindful and contemplating on the body, contemplating on the mind, contemplating on the mind objects. So like that, we have to, according to the Satipatthana discourse, Kaya Anupassana, we have to contemplate on our body, and Vedana Anupassana, contemplate on the feelings, Chitta Anupassana, contemplate on the mind, Dhamma Anupassana, contemplate on the nature of the mind. So we have to do these exercises. These are the exercises. So our people do exercises for the body. They walk, they sometimes do various exercises, and they go to gym, and they do all these things. And they are essential. I am not saying they are not essential. For our healthy life, healthy body, we have to go to gym, we have to walk, we have to do exercises. That is correct. But for samsaric journey, the exercise is mental exercise. So people do not do mental exercise. That is the problem. How can we do mental exercise? That is meditation. And another problem is this sickness. How many people have to, get medicine? These days, we all have to take medicine, various diseases. Sometimes chronic diseases. Till our death, the disease will not over. Therefore, sometimes the death occurs due to that chronic disease like corona and all that. Therefore, meritorious devotees, while we are young, while we are small, while we are very strong persons, middle-aged, we have to think these problems. Now, if you forget these problems, then you have to suffer one day at the end of, at the finale of your life. Now, if you understand there are these 4 problems that we have to face in samsaric life, then you try to solve the problems now onwards. Now you take steps, the necessary steps to solve the problems. How can we solve the problems? By accumulating merits. Because for these 4 problems, only solution is, that is what is called attaining Nibbana. That means put an end to rebirth, put an end to birth again and again. Now, even if we agree, even if we have the consent for the end of, we like to end this circle of lives, we cannot do it according to our wish. That is the problem. Now, when we suffer, people think and people tend to say, I have fed up with this samsaric life. I don't like to be born again. People say, but people cannot do it. That is the problem. We cannot stop according to our wish. That is why we say this life is anatma, soulless, unsubstantial. We cannot manipulate according to our wish. That is the problem. Therefore, meritorious devotees, now these are the 4 problems. What are the problems? Death and decay and what is called sickness and death and birth. Now, birth takes place according to the wholesome and unwholesome actions that we do. Even if we like to be born in a pleasurable plane, we cannot achieve it if we have accumulated bad or unwholesome deeds, unwholesome things. If we have done demerits, we cannot be born in a heavenly plane. Therefore, there are 5 factors that we have to maintain. We have to practice. What are the spiritual faculties? And we have to maintain. First one is saddha, 5 hours. Saddha. And second one is sila. Third one is sutta. Fourth one is chaga. Fifth one is panya. These 5 faculties we have to practice. Saddha means unshakable confidence. Unshakable confidence about the enlightenment of the Supreme Buddha. Saddha. Then sila. Sila means what is called, you have to maintain, you have to practice, you have to have pure words, pure deeds. That is sila. Saddha sila. Then sutta means Dhamma knowledge. Dhamma knowledge. Sutta. Then chaga. Chaga means charity. Then panya means wisdom. Panya in the sense we have to understand the nature of the world, anicca, impermanence. Then dukkha, unsatisfactoriness. Then anatta, soullessness or unsubstantiality. So these characteristics we have to understand. The finale of panya is attainment of Nibbana. Attainment of Nibbana. Therefore, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, how can we understand, how can we maintain these 5 faculties? First and foremost, you have to take refuge in the triple gem wholeheartedly. That is how we have to start, the first step. Without the first step, you cannot go forward. Unfortunately, there are persons who want to attain Nibbana, but they don't start properly. At least we have to start from our household life. Now, there are some persons, they want to kind of have development of the mind cultivation, and they have to have kind of developed mind, but they don't. They want meditation, in other words, but they don't attend on their parents. They don't attend on their parents. That is the problem. Because Buddha said, explicated, Mata pitu upattanam puttadha rasa sangaho. So first and foremost, you have to attend on your parents. Without attending on your parents, how can you actually start your Dhamma journey? So that is an unfortunate situation in present society. The elderly persons, parents are neglected. The sons and daughters and the relations of those neglected parents and neglected elders, they want to attain Nibbana. This is the humorous thing that is discernible in Sri Lankan society. So therefore, you have to understand this situation, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends. That's why I mentioned you may be a powerful person now, but one day you have to suffer, you have to be lonely, you may be neglected. Therefore, in order to face that situation, you have to practice Dhamma now onwards, at present, you have to practice Dhamma. Without doing so, you cannot face the situation properly. Therefore, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, today I wanted to explicate to you regarding these things, especially these 4 characteristics are available, although there are so many other problems. In order to face these problems strongly and appropriately, you have to practice Dhamma. There is no any other answer to these 4 problems. Otherwise we have to suffer again and again in the samsara. Therefore, practice Dhamma, accumulate merits, and go on a wholesome path, and then you have to overcome these 4 characteristics, and one day you can attain Nibbana. Therefore, may you be able to attain Nibbana within the regime of Gautama Buddha Sasana. May the Noble Triple Gem bless with you all. Akasatthaca Bummatta Devanaga Mahiddhika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Buddha Sasanang. Akasatthaca Bummatta Devanaga Mahiddhika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Buddha Desanang. Akasatthaca Bummatta Devanaga Mahiddhika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Tang Sada. May you all be well and happy.